Hey everyone, it's a rather cold Sunday morning here in the UK, so as usual, it's time to talk about the book that I've been reading this week, and it's one where I only really got to start it yesterday, which is very unusual for me. But I've had an absolutely insane week at work. Been so hectically busy on the project, I've just crashed out as soon as I've gotten home. I've been so exhausted. So yesterday I just took a day. I had a duvet day. I was like, no, I'm just gonna stay at home, shut off from the world, get some rest, and do some reading. And so in a day, I read The Catcher in the Rye by J.D.Salinger. This is a reread. I've read it a couple of times before, but thinking about it, I haven't really read it since I was about 18 or something. So it's been a while. In case you haven't read this, Catcher in the Rye, it's one of the biggest novels, best written novels, critically acclaimed novels around, and it follows a boy called Holden Caulfield who is when it begins, he says that he's in a place and he's reflecting on events that happened a year before. And the year before, he has been kicked out of his school. It's in California, I believe. And his parents are basically going to get the letter. It's being sent out, and it should get to them in a few days later. So this book basically covers those few days, what he gets up to. And he's kind of, it's really weird, right? Because when I told my sister I'd be reading this week, she went, "Oh God, why?" She went, "Oh, I hate Holden. He's so annoying and all this stuff." And she was telling me all the negative things about his character. And I said, "Yes, but you do realise that without this book, young adult fiction wouldn't exist." And she went, "Oh well, I guess I have to give it to that." And it's true. This was kind of like one of the sort of first books, you could say, that came out that really captured the thoughts of being a teenager, the anxieties, the things you question, the things you get shoved under your nose that you have to deal with, the things that you experiment with. Because Holden, throughout the course of this book, he gets into a fight. He questions sexuality. He meets prostitutes. He dabbles with drinking. He with drugs and all this lot. He deals with his issues with his parents. There's so much going on in this novel. It's literally every single page something new is happening to him, and there's so much that's crammed into this really short, but it's only like 190 pages long, and so many things happen. It's absolutely insane. J.D.Salinger wrote it terrifically. But yeah, it was very interesting going back and looking at it as an adult, and I still felt for Holden throughout the book. I still, I don't have, even though, okay, I can understand why my sister doesn't like Holden for certain characteristics and such, but there's something about Holden that I can't dislike, and I don't know if it's just that thing that everybody's kind of, well, not to the same degree as Holden, but everyone's kind of had those questions or thought those thoughts or experimented with those things when they were at that age. And so that's why I think it's so relevant that even though it was written like 1949, I think it was, 1950, that it's still relevant to this day, and that's why it's still being taught in schools and everything. It's a really powerful read. I have to say, I completely forgot that Holden swears all the time throughout this book. Since the last time I read it, literally, probably every sentence or every other sentence he swears, and it does get a bit annoying after a while. But you just have to put up with it. But I also love the fact, from going back to things that it covers, how it looks at mental health of teenagers and how people argue, oh, it's just because he's at that age, he is the way he is. It's like, no, there's something a lot darker under here. He's trying to say something to you, and it's kind of like poetry in regards to, you listen to a poem, you're like, oh yeah, that was a nice poem, but you haven't really listened to it. You haven't got what it's about, who it's about, what it's trying to say about our society, that kind of stuff. Yeah, you haven't got that depth to it, so or you haven't caught the the symbols and everything. So so yeah, and I think that's how everybody kind of views Holden, in him getting into fights and all this lot and that. And I do love his love for his sister Phoebe. Phoebe is I think she's about 12, I can recall, and she's at home obviously with her parents, with their parents, should I say, not his. Excuse me, got a bit of a cough. And yeah, he really dotes on her. She is the only one who understands him. She's the only one who actually listens to what he has to say. And so she is the one that he has to go to on this journey, these few days. He goes, visits her. She comes and visits him as well. There's so much. He's constantly traveling, constantly asking questions, and the weird question that he keeps on asking, and it's really kind of clever to where his psyche's at and everything, and how he views the world. He keeps asking, where do the ducks who are in Central Park migrate to when it's winter? Of course, nobody knows that. But he keeps asking everybody, whoever he phones, whoever he encounters, whoever he has to ask this question, the question that kind of will never be answered. And I love why it's called Catcher in the Rye. Because he misunderstands a poem that he hears, or a song, sorry, that boy's saying as he's walking down the street, and he imagines this person, and it's him, who's got this job where he's on a sort of cliff edge, in a rye field, and he has to, surrounded by children and running around like crazy, and his whole job is to stop them from going over the cliff, so he has to grab them and save their lives. And it's that thing of his mental state where he's at, but also the thing of letting go of innocence and what life was all about, and the tough things that are going to come your way. Do you stop them? Do you don't? Do you let them encounter these things? There's so much stuff going on in this book. It's oh god, it's insane, but I absolutely love it. I really thoroughly enjoyed rereading The Catcher in the Rye, even though I saw it from a very different perspective. Now I'm an adult. I didn't think Holden was a bad kid or anything. He was just confused, and he has his issues, and especially I love the way he talks about his brother DB, who's in Hollywood. He never says his full name, just says DB all the time. And his other brother has died. He died years earlier. So whenever, yeah, his brother who is alive in Hollywood, he comments that, oh, he's doing amazing stuff and all this lot and everything. It's almost like his brother is his goal for what he needs to achieve, but we learned that his brother's not actually, he's not, when you say, oh, he's in Hollywood, you think, oh, he's doing, film stuff and all this lot, and he's been really successful in that, and it's not the case. It's just, Holden, he sees his brother going to Hollywood as being the bar, but what's happened in Hollywood is another story. So, but I love everything about it, the complexity, the way in which he writes, how personal it is whenever I have read it, how symbolic it is of what everybody goes through in life, and you hit teenager. And it's true that without this novel, without the controversy of it, we wouldn't have young adult fiction. It just wouldn't exist. This was the first book that went, hey, it's all right, you're going through this, we all go through this, let's open up about it and talk about all different aspects. So it's fantastic. Everyone should give it a go. I don't like the whole thing of how it's been censored over time in schools and all that lot, because they feel that, you know, there's too much blasphemy, there's too much alcohol and questioning God and our existence and prostitutes and sex and all that lot. It's just, you know, if you censor all that out, there's no story apart from a boy who's panicking because his parents are going to get a letter to say he's been kicked out of school. And he gets into a fight at the beginning with his roommate, who drives him nuts. And yeah, that's it. There won't be anything else to the story. So you know, I think it's absolutely fantastic. I can't think of anything else to say. Sorry, this sounds like a bit of a crummy review, as it were, but I can't. My mind has just gone completely blank. So I guess I'll stop there. But overall, I really love it. I love one thing I will say. Also, I love the ending that we have, you know, the end of those 3 days are up, and then the last chapter says, oh, I won't bore you with what happened between then and now. And I like that there's something secret about it. Holden is keeping stuff from us. He doesn't, not that I'm saying that he doesn't want to confront them, but there's something, it's something, you know, very personal. There are things that you go through that you don't want to talk about, and Holden's gone through something that he doesn't want to talk about. And as a reader, I'm all right with that. I really like that personal touch to it, that we as a reader don't have to know absolutely everything that's happened to Holden. And let's face it, you could also say that some of the stuff in this book may not have happened to Holden because it could have all been in his head. We don't know, because, you know, as I said, there's so many things going on in this book, and it goes through so many events that, you know, you could argue what's true, what's not true. And I really like playing a guessing game, as it were. Alright then, I'm going to stop there. So I hope you've enjoyed this rather crummy review of The Catcher in the Rye. I'm so sorry, my mind's just gone completely blank. I can't think of anything else to say. But anyway, have you read this book? I'd love to know what you thought of it. You can leave your comments in the comments box below, or if you want to show me what you thought of the book another way, you can give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Entirely up to you. And I'll be back soon with another video, and that's seeing what I'm going to be reading next week. Alright then guys, bye!